All right, good evening, everybody. The time is 7 o'clock on December 3rd, and we're ready to get this meeting going. So Deb, would you kindly call roll?
Counselor Williams, Counselor Hansi.
Here.
Counselor Purser,
Here.
Counselor Parrish,
Here.
Counselor Downs, and Counselor Miller.
Great, thank you. I'm going to ask that everybody rise for a moment of silence to collect your thoughts, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Deb, we have an agenda set forth before us. Are there any changes to the
No.
agenda?
No changes to the agenda, Mr. Mayor.
I would need a,
I move to approve the agenda as presented. Second. Nope.
okay, we have a first and a second. Deb?
Counselor Williams, Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
Counselor Purser, Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Downs, and Counselor Miller. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you very much. We have one presentation this evening. It's by the Fruita Chamber. It's the biannual update. And Allie, I hear you are having to pinch hit. The floor is yours.
The second one, hopefully trying to do that. So Kayla called in today and ended up going to the doctor and found out she has strep throat. She gave me an hour notice to come take care of this, so be here. Let me just share. Do this. Not do it. We're just gonna not do the little presentation. You're just gonna listen to me talk. Do all the fun slides. So anyways, good evening, member of the City Council and Mayor. I'm Allie, the Assistant Director at the Fruita Chamber. Thank you for this opportunity to share the updates in our business community and the Chamber's initiatives for this upcoming year. Over the past year, our local businesses and the Chamber have undergone significant changes. When we last addressed you, we discussed our plans to conduct surveys and business visits to better understand the needs of our community. Based on the valuable feedback we've received, 3 common areas were brought to our attention. The need for more access to talent, business growth and development opportunities, and investment in community and industry collaboration. To address the talent shortage, the Chamber has partnered with several partners like Mesa County School District 51, Colorado Mesa University, CMU Tech, and other education, workforce, and Chamber partners to help facilitate the relationships with the local employers to support student internships, job shadowing, and apprenticeship programs. We've revamped the Chamber's workforce development program, The Next Step, designed to help businesses implement effective recruitment and training strategies to retain employment. After completion of the training workshop, which takes place in the fall and the spring, employers will have the opportunity to interview students in high school or college looking to take the next step in their career. Our team today and yesterday spent time over at CMU interviewing students in the business department at CMU. It was so great. These students are just amazing to do some mock interviews and everything. So it was super fun to collaborate with them. After completion of the training workshop, which takes place, we've also collaborated with Fruita Monument High School to connect students with local employers who need skilled talent. Our goal is to showcase the diverse career path available right here in Fruita and Mesa County, including technical certification and trade industries. Currently, we also host a Workforce Development Committee, which is an open network of industry, education, and workforce partners, and meets every month in partnership with the Palisade Chamber to discuss needs and opportunities. This month, we're excited to hear from our local fire and police chief about their apprenticeship programs. To foster business development, we host several recurring opportunities like our monthly coffee club in collaboration with the Business Incubator. This program offers workshop and presentations on topics such as tax and accounting, marketing, and overcoming business barriers. We also facilitate a variety of other networking opportunities like after-hour events, roundtable discussions, luncheons, women in business, and veterans in business programming and events. Advocating for a business community and ensuring their voices are heard remains a top priority. Our Government Affairs Committee regularly meets to discuss and review local, state, and federal regulations that impact businesses. In 2025, we aim to expand these efforts by inviting local business owners to share their concerns and challenges firsthand. This will allow us to advocate for policies that support business growth and reduce regulatory burdens. We encourage City Council and City staff to attend these meetings to gain valuable insight in the challenges our businesses face and work together to find solutions. The Chamber will provide regular reports for our membership and City Council and staff, as well as report back to all of you on those meetings and what takes place when necessary, but there will always be an open invitation to attend those meetings in person. Directly engage with our business community. I will be happy to share, or Kayla will, the calendar invitations with you once they're finalized and the meetings are set for 2025. To address some challenges we've heard recently, the Chamber is taking several steps. We've established a downtown Fruita business community to directly involve businesses in local events and planning. The goal of this committee is to get businesses involved in strategizing to attract visitors and residents of downtown Fruita to better incorporate our business into annual events that bring thousands of visitors to Fruita. As this committee develops, we'll collaborate with businesses beyond downtown Fruita, finding creative solutions to involve all Fruita businesses in chamber events and everything else that happens in town. Innovation is a core value of the Chamber. Recently, we've met with local businesses to identify creative solutions that support their growth. One significant opportunity is the Fruita Fall Festival. A cherished event, while drawing large crowds, doesn't always direct benefit to all of our businesses, particularly those downtown with booths blocking their entrance to their storefront. Store businesses must close, others invest in booths, and some may have little impact. We view this as a chance to innovate. We're grateful to our local businesses for their proactive approach and willingness to collaborate. We're also thankful for the City of Fruita's open-mindedness in seeking creative solutions to support our business community. To further strengthen our business community, we recommend exploring creative solutions such as offering tax incentives or deferment to attract new businesses that can generate foot traffic. Expanding our financial and technical assistance can help small business become more sustainable and develop future growth. The Chamber will continue to collaborate with partners like the Business Incubator Center and the Small Business Development Center to help share existing resources to our business community, and we also encourage the city to explore creative solutions to attract new businesses and support the growth and sustainability of existing ones, and will gladly be partnered and advocate for those efforts. One of our local business owners highlighted that the challenge of maintaining operations and retaining staff during the off-season. The business experienced a significant 60% drop in sales during the off-season. It would be beneficial to explore options and potential incentives to help provide some relief to struggling businesses. This business also suggested that a tax incentive from the city could encourage other businesses to open a downtown storefront, which would not only benefit their business, but also drive additional customers to neighboring businesses. By offering a relief and support during slow periods, we can help business retain staff and ensure that we are well positioned to capitalize our peak season. Last, we're advocating for the farmers market to return to Fruita's Civic Center Park to boost attendance and enhance downtown. This move would require closure of the Civic Center parking lot on Saturday mornings from the second week of June through the end of October, a decision that we believe will ultimately benefit the entire community by bringing more foot traffic to the market as well as Fruita businesses. Our community experienced significant growth and change, new businesses opening and existing ones transitioning ownership. As the chamber, we prioritize the best interests of our local business. We've listened to feedback from our business community and realized that importance of bringing the Fruita market back to its original home is downtown Fruita. Relocating the market to Civic Center Park will not only increase foot traffic for downtown businesses, but also improve ADA accessibility. While we appreciate the past location at Park and the convenience of the on-site storage, ample shade, and the recent renovations, Civic Center Park offers a more central and accessible location for both residents and visitors, and ultimately provide more support for our downtown businesses. I have received 3 letters today of support from our local businesses, as well as invite our downtown businesses to share their feedback directly to City Council and staff expressing their support for bringing back the farmers market to downtown. One letter emphasized that the importance of holding events near downtown stimulates the local economy and showcases local businesses. Another downtown business proposed hosting local artisan in front of their storefront to attract more foot traffic and participate in community events like the farmers market. They also observed that downtown businesses had set up booths at the Saturday market, which diverted time and resources from their own core operations. These businesses expressed that they wouldn't need to invest in additional farmers market booth if the event was held right here at Civic Center. By returning the farmers market downtown, we aim to create a vibrant and inclusive space that benefits our entire community. The Chamber is committed to being strong and advocate for our business. We will continue to work closely with City Council and staff to find innovative solutions that challenge and face our local businesses. I know I am scheduled to present, Kayla is scheduled to present biannually, but always willing to come speak more, address what's affecting our community and identify creative solutions to support and collaborate to grow and sustain businesses here in Fruita. We believe that working together, we can create a thriving business environment that benefits everyone. Thank you for your time and your partnership.
Thank you. You're not off the hook yet.
Come on.
Sorry, that's not how it works. Questions?
I have a, oh, you go.
I just thank you for what you're doing. I really like to see, I've really appreciated over the last year or so, the improvements that you're making and the investments in seeing what our community really needs. I think it's exciting. I know last time you came, it was very nice to see that demographic data, and it's exciting to see that you're still moving forward with things. So thank you very much.
Yeah, that's one of our biggest goals right now is just to get out and help advocate for all of our downtown businesses, see what their needs are and what they're looking for so that we can kind of help get the word out.
Yeah, and the workforce topics that you brought up were awesome. You know, as a local business owner, it's important to have available staff and talented staff to help operations. So thank you.
I agree. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the presentation and yeah, all of your hard work and the emphasis that you guys are going to put into this next year. And it's thrilling to hear. And I know you've already increased membership even with some downtown businesses through this past year. And I'm sure we'll continue to do that.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's fantastic. How many businesses currently are on that downtown business committee? Or do you...
As of right now, I probably have 10
Oh, great.
that I've just started with. My plan is to kind of get the agenda and kind of the outline of what we're wanting to do for this committee put together mid-December, and then I'll send that to those that have shown interest and invite like everyone else. And then hopefully have our first meeting in January.
Beautiful.
Get past the holidays.
Awesome. And as no surprise to you or anybody else probably that knows me, I'm so thrilled about the potential of farmers market coming back here. I think it's a beautiful and exciting thing to see happen. It's so great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amen.
I know you're kind of cited for twice a year. I would just ask if you are having conversations, those one-on-one conversations with businesses, and you start to see issues come up, My preference is rather, let's not wait till, 3 or 4 months down the road. If you could kind of come say, hey, we've got some information and come sooner, would be appreciated. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks,
You did a
Ally.
Great job. So thanks for stepping in.
And we do have some business owners here too. I don't know if you have a minute to let them speak, if any of them want to, but.
Well, you can call them up as part of your presentation, or we do have our public participation coming up, so. As part of the chamber, does anybody want to come up?
Hey there, I'm Tony. I own Designs with Altitude here in Fruita. And we would love to see the farmer's market closer to town. Every Saturday, it's kind of a big challenge for us. We see all the traffic and we're like, where are all the people? And so we get a very small percentage, like actually Saturday is our slowest day in the summer. So I would love to see that. And we have participated 5 years. We have a booth at the Palisade Market. And I would love to see something like that in Fruita. It is so vibrant and the businesses are booming. The restaurants, like a line out the door, the coffee shops are busy. It's right in the town core. And I know that that's like a big ask, but that's ultimately where I would love to see it because it would show off all of our businesses and the quirky side of Fruita, like maybe right there on Mulberry, the plaza and all of that. So I think that would be great. And it would increase tax revenue because all of the businesses would get a lot more traffic. But I think as a town, we're kind of missing like capitalizing on all of that traffic because it brings a ton of people to Reed Park, but they don't necessarily come to the town. So that's just. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else on behalf of the chamber?
Sally. Gavin Brook here representing a farm and a future restaurant on Mulberry. Both here advocating for moving the farmer's market back downtown, please. And I would reinforce Tony's comments that if there was any way of locating it closer to this commercial center of town, that is even stronger. I know that's takes a lot of city involvement and requires closing streets at times, which can be questionable. But I think if you look at other Western Colorado towns, when those farmers markets are located directly outside the businesses, those businesses see the direct benefits of that. And even a block or two, it's certainly a massive benefit compared to Reed Park because we see the same thing at Farm. You know, a few extra people stop by maybe, but they tend to be destination oriented. If we can get them circulating amongst the businesses downtown. Thanks.
Thank you.
Kevin. This sort of brings up something else that I have a question about now. Okay. Thank you guys for that and the letters that were brought. I'm gonna ask for clarification here because maybe we need a little clarification. Like, is there something on the city's part that needs to be done to make this happen? Because it went away, not as a city need, but as COVID, like the idea was the vendors would have more space apart and people would be spaced out more at Reed Park. But I believe that the city never discouraged it being here and actually has been fine and even maybe asking at times for it to come back. So in regards to the city, since people are requesting, it sounds like they're requesting us to approve this. Is that something that we need to be looking at or, okay, Shannon, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you, Councilor Purser. Shannon Boston, Assistant City Manager for the City of Fruita.
Who are you?
Title?
Interim City Manager as of today. I apologize. It happens far too often. Yeah. So just like you were saying, during COVID, to have the availability to spread out, I think the chamber moved it to Reed Park, and they've been able to accommodate more vendors. But within the past couple of years, a few things have changed. So even as we discussed during our strategic planning retreat, we've always talked about whether or not farmers market downtown would be a benefit of the community. I know Reed Park is a great location, but downtown is as well. So really the only thing that we would probably need, we've had an initial kickoff kind of call with everyone who's involved within our city departments. And then I think that message was relayed back to the chamber, but they can apply for any special event application and permit. And then we'll go through the process and just kind of go through kind of what we need per location, because with each location, there are certainly different requirements, especially if we're going to be closing off a parking lot or having to do other things like the road closures that were mentioned earlier. So just go through the process, and it doesn't require any formal action from the city council. We don't have a preference on the location, whether it's Reed Park or downtown Fruita, and we never have. We just try to make it work so it works with all of our, ADA requirements, but also everything else we need to meet when we're closing streets or closing parking lots. Yeah, so no formal action from the council is needed.
But we do need to make, from a timing standpoint, and is requesting space,
Mhm.
the sooner you can do that to make sure that there's not a conflict.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And we have a pretty a good running sheet of kind of all the special events that are usually held in Fruita. A lot of those are reoccurring events, as well as some potential new events as well. So we always communicate that when people are going through the special event permit process, so they kind of know when those conflicts may exist, especially at Civic Center Park.
So if the chamber fills that form out tomorrow, for instance, then there may be a couple conflicts and they'd be made aware of that, and otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and a lot of those are reoccurring events as well that we normally have on Saturdays, like the Truck and Treat. Fruita Fall Festival is one as well that Farmers Market has been incorporated in the past. So just some of those kind of standard events that happen each year. Yeah,
So much.
of course.
Thank you. Anything else? All right. Thank you once again. Next, we're going to move into public participation and consent agenda. I will only say this one more time at our next meeting. We have updated the agenda a little bit, and we've combined the public participation with comments on consent agenda. They all have happened in the same section. So with that, this section is set aside for the city council to listen to comments by the public regarding items that do not otherwise appear on this agenda or that are on the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are items where all conditions or requirements have been agreed to or met prior to the time they come before the council for final action. These items will be approved by a single motion of the council members by the council. Members of the council or public may ask that an item be removed from the consent section and fully discussed. All items not removed from the consent section will then be approved. A member of the council may vote no on specific items without asking that they be removed from the consent section for full discussion. Any item that is removed from the consent agenda will be placed at the end of the consent agenda. We ask that everybody who wishes to speak, please come up, state your name, full address, and we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. So with that, I'd like to open it up for public participation on anything that is not on the agenda or anything on the consent agenda. Is there anybody that would like to participate? Please come up and state your name and address.
Gavin Brook, 303 Otley. I'm here thrilled to announce that the powder coating building sold today. And it sold to Jody and Jeff, who own Fidel's in Palisade. And they're going to be opening an Italian restaurant there. Hey. So I think we're going to be a year from powder coating industrial blighted to a restaurant. So it was in May 24th when we staged. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's happening and official. They will roll out a slower PR campaign. Very exciting. They are they literally went from the closing table to the Vail Food Show. Colorado Food Show is going on in Vail right now, where they would have been here themselves. So,
Congratulations, to all of,
All around.
we're done. Anybody else would like to come up and speak? All right, hearing none, I'm going to close public participation and bring it back to council. Does anybody have any questions, concerns on anything that is on consent? Nope. All right.
Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
First and a second, any final chance to questions or comments? Nope. Deb, you're up.
Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Downs, Counselor Miller, Counselor Williams. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to go into public hearing and action items. And first item on the list is Resolution 24-39, establishing the schedule for fees and charges for the 2025 budget. Shannon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council, for the opportunity to present tonight. The next four resolutions are in relation to the adoption of the 2025 budget. As we've discussed for the past several months, budget has been proposed to the City Council back in September, and for practically most or all of our meetings since then, we've been covering individual parts of the 2025 budget. So this has been several months ongoing, and tonight is the easiest part of it all. I have no PowerPoint, I have no presentations, just a couple cover sheets highlighting some of the things for these four resolutions. So the first process in adopting the 2025 budget is to adopt a schedule of fees and charges. As with any year, we try to outline some of the notable fee changes from year to year, and most of those are mostly related to our utility expenses, some inflationary costs, some minor rate increases that we pass on to residents, whether it's from our trash provider or irrigation water provider as well. So I try to outline these in the cover sheet, and then we've also talked about these at a lot of the other budget presentations as well. So I won't go through each one of them, but the bulk of it, monthly sewer charges, we are anticipating a 2% increase, about a 6% increase for trash, and no changes to our irrigation water. The eligibility criteria for senior rates, if you live in Fruita and you pay for sewer and trash and you're over the age of 62 and meet specific income limits, you can actually get a reduced rate for both sewer and trash. These guidelines are the exact same guidelines that are used for other federal public assistance programs like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program or Food Assistance, Medicaid, et cetera. So we just use the same kind of guidelines. So if they receive one, they're also potentially eligible to receive this one as well. That income limit is increasing to the amounts listed there, $19,584 for a single person and $26,580 for a couple. And they have to meet both of those to receive that discount. As far as our impact fees, last July, Council adopted an updated code language to kind of specify how our income or how our impact fees will change. So now we follow a 10-year average of the construction cost index provided by CDOT for our transportation impact fees. So we saw about a 7% increase in that. And our post-impact fee is about a 2% increase. We use a slightly different inflationary calculator for that, but it is the same that's used kind of across the valley. So that kind of covers the bulk of the changes as far as fees and charges. We don't anticipate any changes to our building inspections yet, no changes to other fees such as our chip seal fee or our school land dedication. So I will pause there and happy to take any questions after public comment. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council.
Thank you. And I do apologize. I should have announced when we kind of jumped into this section. These are public hearings. So after the presentation, we open it up for public comments back for us to listen. And I should have said that ahead of time, so I apologize. With that, is there anybody from that's here that would like to comment on the first action item? Please come up, state your name, your address.
Feel so tall. I'm Tessa, 255 North Ash Street. I have questions. So on that, the budget for 2025 and the actions that Shannon just presented, it says that the fees for chip sealing is going up. And on the budget, page 190, there is the amount for chip sealing. It also says that chip sealing and maintenance were done this year in the city of Fruita, but on August 27th, 2024, the council meetings, page 3, Shannon said that there was no chip sealing or maintenance done this year. So I would like to know the truth, and I would also like to know what the plan is and why fees are going up if no chip sealing is being done. So thanks.
Thank you. Shannon, do you want to address that now? And then we'll see if anybody else would like to come up and speak.
Yeah, thanks, Dessa. So no change to our chip seal fee for next year. So it is the same $285 per. We actually didn't end up doing chip sealing this year because we went out to bid twice. We were going to double chip seal South 19 Road and a few other roads on the south side of the interstate, but unfortunately the bids came back very expensive. I believe one was as much as $450,000, and then after we reduced the scope, is around, geez, I think still in the $300,000 amount. So we're budgeting the same thing next year, 210. We hope that hopefully we'll get more favorable bids. Some of our usual kind of contractors we use for chip sealing were on other kind of high profile projects, such as the US 50 bridge between Gunnison and Montrose. And we also weren't able to partner with the county this past year either. So no change to the chip seal fee and no change to the budget. And we certainly hope we can complete that project next year with the funds. We do fund chip seal every year. So even though we didn't do it this year, the last several years, we did have a chip seal project as well. So, yeah.
So then those funds that were set aside for this year will.
Yeah, we're reappropriating those, and the chip seal fees can only be used for chip sealing projects. So we actually have some chip seal fees from the south of the interstate that can be used for next year's project as well. Yeah, thank you.
So, but I think part of the concern was, if I heard it correctly, that, and I don't have it pulled up, but it was referred to as page 190. There was a reference to that we had done chip sealing in 2024.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And
well,
Or repairs.
yeah.
Is, if I understood it, that we hadn't done it, but we stated that we had. I think is the point of confusion.
No, sure. Yeah. And I can pull up the budget very quickly as well. And if that is in the narrative, that can be corrected in the final one. The budget that's been on our website for the past couple of weeks is not the final. Once it's adopted by council, will include updates to the narratives, but also will include all of the resolutions related to the budget adoption as well. So you can kind of see everything. There's also a glossary, some other supplemental information.
Just for clarification, we'll go back and look at what was referenced on page 190 to make sure the vernacular is correct.
Yeah.
And those monies that have been set aside for that can only be used for that and do not get put anywhere else.
Some of those are just general fund dollars, but we do have chip seal fees. The ones we collect can only be used for chip sealing throughout Fruita.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Any other questions? Or would anybody else like to speak on resolution A at this point in time? Okay, with that, I'm going to close it to public participation and bring it back to council. Thank you for answering my question in terms
Sure.
of for the discounts, if it's and or, and it is and on that one. So thank you.
Yeah. And in the narrative, in the road maintenance narrative, Public Works, it does say chip seal project was bid out twice, but only received one out-of-state bidder. So based upon that, we decided not to pursue chip seal on page 190. Yeah, there may be another spot though, so we'll clean that up in the final one.
I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Any other, if there's no other questions or comments?
I move to approve resolution 2024-39, establishing the fees and charges for the 2025 budget year.
All right, we have a first and second. Last chance for questions or comments. All right. Hearing none, would you kindly poll council?
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish, Counselor Downs, Counselor Miller, Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi. Motion passes 6-0.
Next, yeah, Shannon, you're not going anywhere for a bit. Resolution 2024-40, adopting the 2025 annual budget. And this is a continuance from our November 19th meeting.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor and City Council, for the opportunity to present. As you just stated, this is a public hearing continued from our November 19th City Council meeting where the budget was first opened up for public hearing. Since then, there has been no changes to the draft budget, and the overall 2025 budget has a fiscal impact of right around $30.6 million, which includes 26.6 of current year revenues for 2025, transfers between funds of 2.3, and then a use of available funds or a fund balance of $1.7 million overall. Staff recommends approval on this resolution, and always happy to answer any questions after public comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. With that, would like to open up to public comment on item B, resolution 2024-40. Is there anybody that would like to come up and speak on this resolution? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close public participation and bring it back to council. And I do know some people sent in questions, so thank you on that. Any?
I'd like to just thank everybody, staff and council, for all the work that we've done on a budget. I think Jenny done a great job managing that process, and hope you get another award for another year. Well deserved from last year. And so, no, I think we've done a really good job at analyzing this budget. 30 million is not chump change. It's our hard-earned tax money that we have contributed and so to our community. And so it's a very important process. I hold it as a big responsibility for us as city council. And I think we've done a really good job at looking into it and making some fair adjustments and changes, and exciting for various projects to continue. And thank you.
Amen again.
All I can say is I've spent some time reviewing other municipal budgets. Just well done on the organization, the reference, even the ADA compliance portion of it. So thank you. All right. Any other questions, comments?
Mr. Mayor, I move to reopen the public hearing, accept public comment, and move to approve resolution 2024-40, adopting the 2025 annual budget.
Second.
First and a second, any other comments? Hearing none, Deb, would you please poll council?
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Downs,
Yes.
Counselor Miller, Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
and Counselor Purser. Motion passes 6-0.
Great, thank you. Next up is resolution 2024-41, appropriating funds for the 2025 budget. And who would be presenting? Oh,
I tried to give Joe the opportunity today, but he declined. Wisely declined. Yes. Yes. Only 100 slides. Thank you again, Mr. Mayor and City Council. The resolution before you formally appropriates funds for use in 2025. Now the adoption has been budgeted, or now that the budget has been adopted. I apologize. So technically we can't spend any funds without it being appropriated. So resolution 2021-41 does so we can formally move forward with the 2025 budget. Concludes my presentation. Always happy to answer any questions.
with that, would like to open up resolution 2024-41 to the public. Does anybody have, would anybody care to speak on this item? All right, hearing none, we're going to close public participation and bring it back to council. Any questions, comments? And is there a motion?
I move to approve resolution 2024-41, appropriating the funds for the 2025 fiscal year in accordance with the adopted 2025 annual budget.
Second. First and a second, any other last chance? All right, Deb, you're up.
Counselor Downs,
Yes.
Counselor Miller,
Absolutely.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi, Counselor Purser, Counselor Parrish.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Next up, resolution 2024-42, establishing the property tax mill levy for the 2025 budget year. Oh, sorry.
This is probably the easiest one. So yeah, thank you again, Mr. Mayor and City Council. The resolution before you, 2024-42, establishes a property tax levy of 10.146 mils to be assessed on both residential and non-residential property in the city of Fruita. We anticipate about $1.9 million in revenues from that in 2025. Not a really no change from what we received this year. And we finally got our final evaluation from the assessor earlier this week as well. So we're very close to that. And this remains unchanged. I actually can't find records of when this property tax mill levy was adopted. So 10.146 mils, we're recommending no changes, and always happy to answer any questions after public comment. Thank you.
Shannon, Pat would like to open up for public comment on resolution 2024-42. Is there anybody that would like to speak on this resolution? All right. Hearing none, close public participation, bring it back to council.
Just clarification, the mills have not changed, but the increase of the fund.
Yeah, the mill levy. Yep. 10.146 mils. When you look at the long list of property taxes that homeowners pay, we're really close towards the bottom. There's a lot of special districts, but I think on residential property, there's about 83 total mills. The bulk of that is the school district and then the county, and ours has remained unchanged at the 10.146 for as long as I can remember and find, and even as long as our former finance director could remember as well. So I'm not sure when it was adopted, but no change to that.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, need a motion?
Move to approve resolution 2024-42, establishing a mill levy assessed on property in Fruita for the 2025 budget year at 10.146 mils for the general operations, and authorizing the city clerk to certify the mill levy to the Mesa County Commissioners.
Second.
Have a first and second. Any other questions, comments? No. Deb, would you please poll council?
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
I'm sorry to interrupt really quick. I may have missed it. Did you open this to the public for comment?
Yes, we
You
did.
did.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, wizard.
Counselor Hensy,
Yes.
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
and Counselor Downs.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you, and thank you, Mary Elizabeth, for making sure we stay on track. Last item on public hearing and action items is retail established permit, a request to approve a retail established permit application for Canvas 35 Gallery LLC located at 160 South Park Square, Unit A. And our city clerk, Deb Woods, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Deb Woods presenting a retail establishment permit application for Canvas 35 Gallery LLC at 160 South Park Square, otherwise known as the Farm Building. The application and fees were submitted to the city clerk's office on October 23rd of 2024. A notice of this public hearing was posted at the site on November 13th, and notice was published in the Daily Sentinel on October 30th. On August 6, 2024, City Council adopted Ordinance 2024-13, which allows for administrative approvals of certain liquor license applications. The ordinance does not apply, however, to new liquor license or liquor permit applications, and that's why this application is before you tonight. CRS Section 44.3-424 contains, contains Colorado Liquor Code regulations for retail establishment permits, which were formerly referred to as art gallery permits. The city of Fruita previously approved an art gallery permit for Lithic Bookstore and Gallery located at 138 South Park Square on the Circle. However, a few years ago, the owners chose not to renew that liquor permit and let it lapse. Currently, Garrett Day has a retail establishment permit in the same building as Lithic Bookstore that was originally approved as an art gallery permit. A state liquor enforcement division converted art gallery permits into a retail establishment permit in order to expand the types of businesses that may provide complimentary alcohol to their customers. CRS Section 443424 contains several limitations on the serving of complimentary alcoholic beverages for retail establishment permits, which have been provided to the applicant to ensure compliance with those regulations. The liquor code does not require that the local licensing authority consider the two factors that must be considered when approving other classes of liquor licenses. Those two factors, you may recall, are the character of the applicant and the needs and desires of the neighborhood. Upon initial application, the applicant must list each day that alcohol beverages will be served, and these days must not be changed without a minimum of 15 days written notice to the state and local licensing authority. You can see in the council packet that the applicant has submitted a list of these days, and she does understand that written notice must be provided 15 days in advance if she is to change them. It is staff's recommendation that the council approve the application for a retail establishment permit for Canvas 35 Gallery located at 138 South Park Square, Unit A. Carly Burnett is present as the applicant and owner of Canvas 35 Gallery. In case the council has any questions of her or if there is something she would like to add to my presentation. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council.
Thank you. Would the applicant like to add anything to the presentation? First, we need to open it up for public comment. Is there anybody that would like to make a comment on this request?
Did the applicant not have any presentation?
Correct. She did. She
Okay,
chose
thank
not
you.
to participate or not to speak.
Unless there are questions for her.
She's really trying to keep me on track tonight. All right, hearing none, we're going to close public participation and bring it back to council.
Are we sure we did the background check on these two?
All right, hearing none, need a,
I move to approve the retail establishment permit application for Canvas 35 Gallery LLC located at 160 South Park Square, Unit A.
we have first and second, last chance. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none. Deb, would you please poll council?
Counselor Williams? Counselor Hansi?
Yes.
Counselor Purser?
Indeed.
Counselor Parrish? Counselor Downs?
Yes.
And Counselor Miller.
Absolutely.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
We have nothing on the administrative agenda for tonight, so we're going to move into the interim city manager's report. First, I'd like to just start off saying, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
to our new interim, it's day 2 on the job. So thank you for stepping up and
Yeah,
taking over. Appreciate it.
appreciate it. First night, did I hear an Italian restaurant in downtown Fruita? I think. Yeah, can only go down from me. Certainly hope not. Just a few quick updates, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I did want to take a second on the consent agenda tonight was actually the adoption of our 2025 through 2027 strategic plan. So we are very excited with how that turned out. I want to take a moment to thank City Council for all of your hard work on that, our department heads, but especially our communications and engagement department and communications engagement manager, Ciara. She did a ton of work on this, so I just want to take some time to celebrate that accomplishment because it's a great strategic plan and very excited to get working on that. We did a road show. Well, I had to present the budget to all of our departments over the past couple of weeks, and we started with the strategic plan and kind of covering those new highlight areas like connecting communities, maintaining that culture, and also giving people the opportunity to hopefully live and work in Fruita. And I think that really resonated really well with all of them as well. So great document, great plan, and excited to begin work on that. Also, I wanted to share today, we actually posted the request for proposals for our community survey RFP. So we're kind of timing that to where as soon as hopefully the city manager search process wraps up in January, that we'll be able to start work with the consultant that we select for the community survey. We do that every 4 years, and last one we did was in 2021, and we got some very favorable results, but there was also a lot of potential areas to improve as well. So we've taken some pretty meaningful steps to hopefully address those. So hopefully we'll see some changes in this next survey, but bulk of the work will probably begin in January and then kind of go through March and April as well. We hope to have those results in hand by the time we start filming the State of the City video, so we can really highlight some of those strengths that we found from the community survey, and really also share some of the opportunities from that as well. Two other quick items. December 17th, I did want to just share that the meeting is tentatively scheduled to begin at 5 p.m. that night. So we'll have the special meeting with Drew Gorge of Columbia LTD, the executive recruitment firm that the city council has hired for the city manager recruitment process. And then we'll have our regular meeting at 7 p.m. We'll be providing dinner that night. So Katie is going to shoot out an email probably next week, just hopefully getting orders. We're thinking about going to Reckless since it just opened yesterday. And we've been told by staff that the food is excellent. It's yeah, the sandwiches especially, is that? Yeah, there you go. So we'll shoot over a menu, and if you want to let us know what you'd like, we'll probably around 6 o'clock that night. My final two items, very quickly, at our last council meeting during reports and actions, 2 items came up. One was revolving around the dog park and the broken latch at the large bark park. So park staff got an update on that today. Park staff has been busy with the lights, but they're hoping to get to it at the end of this week and hopefully fix that. They need a truck with some welding equipment on it to fix that. And then we also got a quote for the not special events trailer, but kind of the community trailer, like the block party games community trailer. Yep. Yeah.
Block party trailer.
You can throw
Yeah.
block in there and all. You call it party, but you call it block party.
Block party trailer. Yeah. So just got an initial quote for that because it was requested by the council. So about 17,200, and that includes the trailer, wrapping the trailer, yard games, tables, chairs, fire extinguisher, first aid kits, and a variety of other things. So
How much was it again?
17,200. So if that's of interest, we can also revisit that at the beginning of the year, and then always try to pull some contingency funds, or if there's another place we can pull from if you're interested in moving forward with that. We could, if interested, do it sooner. I'm not sure with the weather how many block parties we're having currently, but it's always something we can discuss. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Great. Can you let us know when the new strategic plan is on the website? That's
Yep.
all done.
Yep, will do. Yeah, thank you.
Well, we're going to move into council reports and action items. James, do you want to go first?
I was just going to reiterate about the dog park latch, so he talked about that.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Couple updates from the Parks and Rec Commission. The pickleball courts will be ready soon to be able to play. There'll be some amenities that they'll hold off until a little later, but it's going really fast. So we'll see that in the coming bit. I'll let them announce dates, but it's not going to be far away. It's really close. So, and then we had an interesting discussion. Former Mayor Ken Henry is going around and speaking to different commissions right now, boards and commissions, about looking at the Fruita Bridge. So interesting. He's just trying to drum up support. So you might see that come through some of your boards and commissions. I have a handout that he gave if you want to see it. And when it was burnt down, I guess a while ago, I don't know what it was, but let's see. That's it.
All right. Thank you. Janine?
The town holiday lighting that the chamber and Parks Department and CRS communicate, all of that went really well. It was great. Thank you, everybody who is continuing that tradition that started a few years ago. It's super, super cool. And don't forget the Parade of Lights also on December 14th. But I do have an actual question that was brought to my attention. The police department is collecting packages for people if you don't want them to, like they have done at least the last year, maybe
Yep.
3.
Yep. Operation Porch Pirate.
Yep.
Oh.
And somebody asked me or was concerned that that puts the police department assuming a liability for the packages being intact when people come and pick them up. And so like, do they need to be concerned about that was the question.
That's a great question. Let me follow up with them and get back to you if you don't mind. I
Don't mind at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love
Yeah.
it. I think it's a
Yeah.
great service, but
Yeah.
it was also an interesting question.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Departments across the country do it.
Well, in
There must be
Walgreens,
something in.
there's probably a thing.
Good
but-
question.
But yeah, I mean, in my mind, but I also know that I'm a super trusting person, so I don't think about people suing the police.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
all.
I will double check and follow up unless Mary Elizabeth, our city attorney, has anything to weigh in.
I would say, Shannon, let's get together
Yeah.
and look at
Sounds
that
good.
and then get back to council if that's okay.
Yeah.
When
Close.
is that starting, or is it already started?
It has started.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Rich?
I'd just indicate that the mayor and I interviewed some candidates for positions on the tourism and the
Board of Adjustments?
Board of Adjustments that hasn't met since 2019. It's a real active. And the mayor is on it too, so.
Oh, anything else you want to add?
But we're both going to meet with Ciara about the tourism board position and try and make sure that we make a decision that fills that most appropriately. That's all I have.
Nothing except for, did I mention that Cocovino the date was changed? Okay, good. Then we're good. That's all I have.
The only thing I have was some really positive feedback about our wheel park. A couple of young wheelers have expressed their enthusiasm and so have their families, like that we brought that, and that they're able to utilize that and practice these skills that they want without having to drive pretty significant, distances to get to an actual park. So I thought that was pretty cool. Otherwise, that's all I have.
Great. Thank you. I've got a couple items. The good news is I talked to our consultant, Drew, in terms of for the city manager's position. And he indicated that we have a surprisingly large number of highly qualified candidates. And that on our meeting on the 17th, where the goal was to try to narrow it down to 4, that may be a little difficult. So his thought is we may only be able to get it down to 6 at that point to help us with that process. Over the next day or two, he would meet and interview the 6 candidates. The thinking is that those will be Zoom recorded. After they are recorded, we'll have the opportunity to view them. And then we'll have to come back and meet in executive session to take it from the 6 down to the 3 or 4 for the meeting in January. So we do need to schedule that additional executive meeting. Let me get with our consultant to kind of make sure I understand the timeline, what he's thinking of. But just to let you know that we are adjusting our plans because we've got a great problem. So just want to give everybody heads up on that.
Can I ask a question real quick? Narrowing it to the 6 instead of 4. Drew, the consultant, is narrowing it to the 6, or we are gonna?
We're still on the meeting on the
We'll get some
17th.
information prior to that.
On the 17th, we're going to look at the larger group and then try to narrow it down to a smaller group. And then he'll do those interviews without us. And then we were able to watch and kind of narrow it down even further.
Then we're gonna do that at the 5 or 5:30 meeting?
5 o'clock.
Yes.
5 o'clock now?
Yeah.
On the 17th, yeah, the time for the 18th is to be determined.
Say that again.
Imagine
What?
the time on the 18th for.
Well, no, the 18th,
Oh,
through the consultant will be doing
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I need to find out how many days he's going to need to conduct those.
Gotcha.
I think his all doing it the day after is probably unrealistic.
Yeah.
So I'll work with you in terms of scheduling that executive session.
So we're gonna have that
Sounds
meeting
good.
at 5 instead of 5:30 now, is what we're planning, right?
Yes,
Okay, can you update the calendar for us?
Yeah.
Because it says 5:30 still.
James,
Please.
Don't worry,
should we make it?
I close at 5 o'clock, so don't, just perfect. I'll be right here.
All right.
And he's
Um,
gonna be so happy about it.
So happy about it.
The second item is, when you guys came in, you may have seen there were some signs on the door. And I can't remember the exact verbiage, but no firearms permit. Yes. So Mary Elizabeth, I'm glad you're on this phone call. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, it was, and I can't believe I can't remember the number, Senate Bill 24-13 or 131.
It's
I don't-
Senate Bill 24-131.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Which went into effect that and the overarching theme of it is if you have a municipal building that houses a CEO type position, for us, the city manager, that prohibits anybody to bring any firearms into the building, whether it's open carry or concealed carry.
And
So-
can I sorry to interrupt, Mayor, I'd just like to
Nope.
clarify, it's not just because the city manager's office is here, it's because also your council chamber is here. So it's anywhere where elected officials meet, and any place where, like the city manager's office is located so if those were two different buildings, it would apply to both buildings. In this instance, for you guys, it's, housed under one roof.
Right. But as a city, we have the option to opt out of that. Is that correct? I don't know if that's the correct verbiage.
That is how it's being referred to. So yes, the city can by ordinance opt out of that prohibition on, I believe it's just concealed carry, Mayor, and I need to double check that. So, but yes.
As I read it, open carry, you can't opt out of, but concealed carry, you can.
That's right. So it is just being able to opt out of concealed carry. The caveat to that, though, I mean, this bill didn't just address governmental buildings, it also addressed courts, schools, daycare centers, et cetera. The city does not have the ability to opt out of concealed carry in courts or buildings that house courts. So this is something that I've got to look into, because if council would like staff to, to take a look at this, your municipal court building is this same municipal building.
Okay, so it
And
may not be an option for us.
it may not be an option, and that's what I need to look at. You guys are not going to be the only municipality or local government that has that issue. So, I'll probably consult with folks on the CML listserv to see what other municipalities may have done that are in a similar situation. But I think first, I'll just look to you guys for direction if that's something you all are interested in.
So my question for you guys is, I don't expect, anything decisions tonight. But would you be open to putting this on a workshop for discussion?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay, great. So we will add that to a future workshop for discussion, pending what Mary Elizabeth finds out is even if it's an option. So it may not be.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much. All right. Last chance for you guys. Anything else on council reports and action items? Okay. With that, guarantee I'm going to get the order of this incorrect. So with that, we are going to move into executive sessions. And then is the process now that I can read all the executive session language while we're in our open meeting? Mary Elizabeth?
Yes. So what I was going to suggest is this is kind of how what we did last time. So there will need to be, 4 separate motions. But it can all be done now. When you move on each one, you need to do your invite. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
It
Because
does make sense.
they're going to be slightly different, some people moving in and out. So anyway, I'm here to help if you need help.
All right. So thank you. So thank you, Mary Elizabeth. So while we are still in open meeting, we're going to need 4 different motions for each one, and we'll announce who will be part of those meetings. And then from there, we'll go out of open meeting into executive sessions.
Know who's part of each of these.
I can read that because
You-
I've got.
Okay,
So if someone wants to read the motion,
Okay,
I can include who will be there.
I move to convene an executive session pursuant to CRS section 2464024B and section CRS 2464024E for the purpose of receiving legal advice and developing strategy for negotiations and informing negotiators with regard to the Headwaters Housing Development proposal.
Sorry,
That's not the first one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you might
sorry,
have
that's
to
what I
hit
was going to say.
refresh.
Gosh, I sure did. I apologize.
All right. So I think we need to do these in the right order.
Yes, we absolutely do. I apologize. That's my bad.
Packets out.
I move to convene an executive session pursuant to CRS section 2464024B for the purpose of receiving legal advice from the city attorney and the city's Sursa council with regard to Mesa County District Court case number 24CV62.
And the mayor and city council will be inviting the following persons: the interim city manager, Shannon Vossen, planning and development director, Dan Karras, city attorney, Mary Elizabeth Geiger, and city of Fruita Sursa council.
Second.
Who is Andrew Ringel?
Okay, thank you. So we have a first and a second, and we have to vote on each one of these.
Counselor
That's
Williams?
correct. Was there a second? I apologize. I
Yes.
didn't hear the
Yes.
second. Okay, thank you.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Counselor Hansi?
Sorry, I'm just. I have a. Yes, I'll bring it up between the next 2.
Counselor Purser?
Yes.
Counselor Parrish? Counselor Downs? Counselor Miller?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
I'm confused.
Aaron, I'm not, yeah, what's
So the
up?
online packet that I pulled yesterday is not the same as this.
That's correct. We had to update. There were some corrections that were made and they were made incorrectly. And so it's been updated again. So you probably want to refresh your agenda or go to, the website for today and click on it there.
So Mayor, are we above water with approving the right agenda?
Well, that was going to be mine. That's exactly the right question, because the agenda posted
Was this? Was the one?
Printed one is the post.
okay. Is that correct, Deb?
That is correct.
All right, great.
Did we not get informed that it was going to be updated? Did I miss that? I just want to make sure.
It does not change the items that were on there. There was some verbiage with regard to the executive sessions that needed to be updated. But it does not change the 4 executive sessions that are occurring are the ones that were posted for last Wednesday, I believe. Deb, was
Friday.
it what? Oh, it was Friday, sorry.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm just very confused because I pulled this yesterday and it's not the same one, so.
That's right. It changed yesterday from Friday and it changed again this morning, only with regard to the language on these executive sessions.
Okay.
Okay, sorry,
And-
just want to
and-
make sure we're on the up and up.
Yes, and just a reminder, the open meetings law does require posting of notice of the meeting 24 hours in advance. And then it says, and agenda items where possible. So as we've talked about before, once you have the open meeting, items can be added. Executive sessions can be called for any item that's on the agenda. So sometimes agendas do get changed even the day of. That's okay. The open meetings law does require, though, that the notice of the meeting itself has to be posted at least 24 hours in advance.
Got it.
How do we, I don't know. It'd just be nice to have communication with that. It does kind of change. But anyway, minor thing, but thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. All right, we have a second executive session.
I move to convene an executive session pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024B and section CRS 24-6-4024E for the purpose of receiving legal advice and developing strategy for negotiations and informing negotiators with regard to the Headwaters Housing Development Proposal.
The mayor and the city council will be inviting the following persons to attend this executive session. Special counsel to the city of Fruita, Dalton Kelly, interim city manager Shannon Vossen, planning and development director Dan Karas, and city attorney Mary Elizabeth Geiger.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Would you please poll council?
Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Downs, Counselor Miller, and Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Right. Nothing clears a room like talking about executive sessions. All right. We have a third executive session. Would somebody care to read that one? Or make a motion for the third executive session?
Move to convene an executive session pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024B for the purpose of receiving legal advice from the city attorney and pursuant to section CRS 24-6-4024E for developing strategy for negotiations and informing negotiators with regard to the East Otley Avenue pedestrian easement.
Second.
Hold on, we're not done yet. The mayor and city council will invite the following persons to attend this executive session. Interim city manager Shannon Vossen, planning and development director Dan Karas, city attorney Mary Elizabeth Geiger, and public works director Kimberly Bullen.
And Mr. Mayor, we'll also have our Parks and Rec Director, Mark Mancuso, joining this one, the third one as well.
Okay. And Mark. Okay.
Counselor Purser,
Oh, we need a second.
Second.
We have a second, okay?
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Downs, Counselor Miller, Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Right, thank you. We have one more executive session if somebody cares to make a motion.
I move to convene an executive session pursuant to CRS section 24-6-4024B for the purpose of receiving legal advice from the city attorney and pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024E to develop strategy for negotiations and informing negotiators regarding the 19 road project.
Right, the mayor and the city council will also invite the following persons to attend this executive session. Our interim city manager Shannon Vossen, planning and development director Dan Karas, city attorney Mary Elizabeth Geiger, and engineering project manager Steve Martinez.
And Mr. Mayor, we'll also have acting city engineer John Baldwin joining that one as well.
Okay, right? Thank you. So that's
A full waiting room.
all right, we have a first and a second. Would you please poll?
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Downs,
Yes.
Counselor Miller, Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Hansi,
Yes.
and Counselor Purser. Motion passes 6-0.
Great. The Fruita City Council will resume the open session at the conclusion of all four executive sessions on this agenda. So it is now 8:13. We're going to take a 5-minute bio break. So we will come back and start at, why don't we just call it 8:20? Right. Thank you all.
That it's already out.
All right, so this portion of the recording is the end statement for the executive session. I hereby attest that this recording reflects the actual contents of the discussion at the executive session and has been made in lieu of any written minutes to satisfy the recording requirements of the open meeting law. The time is now 10:40. And I will ask the deputy city clerk to retain this recording for a 90-day period. And we are moving back into open session. So we do have one other item that we need to discuss in open session, which is the negotiation of the agreement with GVIC and removing the in-fee portion from the can't read my own writing, the recital. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Recital C.
And is Mary Elizabeth back?
I'm
Yes.
back. I am back.
We
Well,
will
We will.
talk about it.
We need to talk about it first because there's no decisions that can be made. So,
So what the city's been presented with is a construction and license agreement from GBIC as it relates to the construction and installation of the new culvert for the 19 road project. This is going to be a larger culvert than what's already there to accommodate the larger road. The city is also in negotiations with GVIC to acquire the additional property that's necessary to accommodate that culvert. But this construction and license agreement is necessary in order to actually do the work in and around the canal itself. So they have presented it to us. It is virtually identical to an agreement that the city signed a few years ago with them for a project at J2 Road, with the exception that there is an additional recital in there for the city to recognize and affirm that they own, that the GVIC, owns the Ranchman's Canal in that area. And
so your recommendation is that we absolutely remove that in fee from the recital.
that would be my recommendation. That's right. Yep. So I am looking to you guys for authorization to finalize those negotiations. And then once we get that done, for the mayor to go ahead and be able to sign. So I would entertain a motion to that effect.
Does that need to be one or two motions?
That can be one motion.
Okay.
We have to have public comment.
Nope.
Okay. So does somebody want to make a motion to have Mary Elizabeth remove the in fee from the recital and authorize her and staff to renegotiate or to negotiate that agreement? And upon removing the in fee from the recital, authorize the mayor to sign it.
So
I'll move.
So moved.
Second.
Third.
Supporting that.
All right, we have a
Who-
first and a second.
Who's
Any
gonna
other
ki-
discussion? What?
Who's going to kindly poll council since
yeah.
Deb is
You
gone?
Could pick anyone.
You may not do it so kindly.
He's going to do it.
So we have a first and second. Any additional conversation?
God, no.
All right, Shannon, would you, in whatever manner you so choose, poll council?
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Downs,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Purser, Counselor Williams, Counselor Hansi.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything before?
I'm so sorry. I have a question. I'm really, really sorry. Did you all get an email from somebody who applied for, and
Yes.
what are we supposed to do with that?
So I thought I copied everybody.
Whoa, copy what? Nope.
I blind copied everybody on the response to Drew, which is just, hey, we received this from,
I did not see.
It was like, it was a Bill Thompson or
Yeah.
something.
right.
Oh, no, mine wasn't.
Oh,
Okay, I'm really uncomfortable with whatever this conversation is right now. I'm going to
That's
tell
what I
you.
was
so,
wondering.
but the
So
response is we
I-
don't respond back to it.
I don't know what it's about.
It
I
was
don't know what
just an
yours-
email that one of the candidates sent out to all of us and no one responded. Matt just told
That is
Drew that he
correct.
did.
Previous
Okay.
conversations as council, we do not respond
Yeah.
to any of those
That's
direct applications.
And
Oh,
your,
that's correct.
your email, all that was a reply, or you sent it to Drew,
To
just
Drew.
saying that we all saw it.
Yeah.
Blinded us on it.
He just told Drew that we saw it and that we got it, and that was it. And there was no response to the actual applicant.
Also, are we even supposed to look at that?
It's really hard not to, if you,
Well,
you
I didn't open it. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I wouldn't open it. You don't need to look at it. I would say if you get anything that indicates it's from somebody who applied, that you just delete it.
Okay.
And if you would like to alert Drew that you received something and you deleted it, that's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry if I missed.
No.
I did not see that and I did not.
I do not, there are no group emails, period.
Well, no, yes, right. Okay, very good.
All right,
Thank
okay.
you.
Thanks.
All right, anything else anybody would like to stir the pot with before we adjourn?
That was a
if this is the worst we
doozy.
get.
Ever been called a pot stirrer?
No, all right, the time is 10:45. We are adjourned. Thank you, Mary Elizabeth.
Thank you.